Hello guys, and welcome to this video. Now this one is actually not for you, I'm sorry. This is for the dog owners themselves. I thought I might make a short video about why I actually hate dogs, and all that in a very condensed and boiled down form. I did the same in German, and I actually split it up in 3 different videos. And I thought, why not do the same in English? But just in a shorter fashion. So yeah, this is why I actually hate dogs, and I'll try to keep it short. I hope I'll trigger and piss off as many people as possible with this one, but hey, much obliged. Now, dog owners, I have a few bullet points here that I would like you to hear, if you want to, or if you can just turn it off if you like, and just tell yourself that I'm just some mentally deranged dog hater. That's fine too, you know. Now, the first point I would like to talk about is the barking. Now, you might actually like the barking of your mutt, and to you that is perhaps some sweet and cute sound, and you think that the dog wants to communicate with you. Now, be that as it may, nobody else wants to hear the barking, and the barking is bloody irritating. Yeah. Like, we don't want to hear the barking during the night, especially, but not even during the day. It's unbelievably irritating, and it erodes everybody else's nerves. So, and if you think that your dog has to bark all the time because that's how it communicates, then you're simply wrong. You're simply wrong. You can ask any competent dog trainer or behaviorist. A dog that is barking all the time, something's wrong with that dog, and you should actually take it to the vet to get it checked out. Dogs should not bark all the time, and there are loads of behaviorists and medical arguments for that, but there's also a decency argument for that. You know, I don't put some huge sound system into my garden and play my music all day long so that everybody in a 500-meter radius can hear it, just because that's my hobby. You know, it's a decency question, so make your bloody mouth shut the fuck up, okay? The second point is that you, basically all of you, suffer from Dogkeeper privilege. You have just gotten used to the fact that you think the entire public sphere is your personal property and the property of your mutt, and that you can take it anywhere and everywhere, and everybody has to be absolutely thrilled about that. Now, let me tell you, that is unfortunately not the case. We all beg to differ. Like, do you see any other animal keepers that actually take their animals everywhere? I mean, I don't see the gecko keepers taking their geckos, into the restaurant, and I don't see the tarantula keepers taking their animals into the park and shoving their animals into everybody's faces. So you just got used to the fact that people are just tolerant with you and very lenient, and now you mistake that leniency for enthusiasm. And it's not enthusiasm. People are just being polite because they want you to bugger off with your animal. So stop shoving your animals into everybody's faces, and stop taking them into the grocery shops where you have all the food and stuff. Dogs do just simply not belong there because they're dirty. Yeah, and your dog is dirty as well. We will get to that point shortly, but You might think that you are special and your little mutt is special, but let me tell you, you're not. Your mutt is just like any other mutt. It's dirty, it eats, it sleeps, and it shits. So don't shove your animals into everybody's faces, especially in the public sphere. Just leave other people alone. Now the next point is exactly the hygiene that we were talking about. Now you probably don't notice it, but there is a certain process that is actually happening with you as soon as you have a dog. And that process is that you just keep pushing your dirt tolerance further up and up. So you you start to become you start to tolerate more and more filth and more dirt and more bad smell because it comes from an animal that you have an emotional attachment to. So you start to, it's like having a baby, after after 2 or 3 months, and I don't know how many diapers that you have changed. You start to build up a certain immunity to shit and to piss, and you don't care about it as much as you did at the beginning. Now that is exactly what happens when you have a dog. The problem is only that for you this process never stops, and you become, like, many of you just become absolutely, like, repulsively filthy, and your dirt tolerance bar is just 5 miles up compared to other people that do not have a dog. Now, if you don't realize that, then I'm really sorry for you. And but I mean, somebody has to tell you. Now, that hygiene problem often, like, the first feature that you actually notice is usually the stench. Like, your animals stink. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to tell you, but if nobody else does, then I will. Your animals stink, and so do you. I can smell a dog keeper from at least 4 meters of a distance, even if the dog is not there. You bloody stink, guys. You don't notice the stink anymore because you have it in your nose all the time. And don't tell me that, yeah, but I'm clean. I keep cleaning my house and I keep shampooing the carpet and everything. It doesn't matter. Your nose just doesn't notice the smell anymore. And that's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's a physiological feature. That's how our senses work. If you keep bombarding a certain sense with the same stimulus all the time, then that sense at a certain point will just shut off, because it would just use too much energy to constantly, if the nerves and the neurons would constantly fire to a stimulus that is there anyway. So you don't smell it anymore, but other people's do. So that's also a reason, for instance, why, if you look at all those kind of etiquette guides, then it was actually standard that you were taught that you should not you should always have two different perfumes, and you should actually use them in an alternating manner. Because if you keep using the same perfume all the time, then your nose will just not smell it anymore, and you will just pour so much over yourself at a certain point that all the other people around you will just faint, because you just use far too much of it. So that's the reason why you should actually, if you care about such things, you should use two different perfumes, and you should use the one for, I don't know, perhaps a month, and then you switch to the other one, just so that your sense of smell does not get used too much to the one type. So yeah, the hygiene is one point, and we are not just talking about the smell. I mean, look, your dogs are bloody disgusting, okay? I mean, they're bloody disgusting. They eat their own feces, okay? They eat their own vomit, they eat their own feces, and they piss everywhere, they shit everywhere. They lick their own anus, and then you let them lick your face. I mean, you're repulsive. I mean, I'm sorry, you're just bloody repulsive. And now, in the age of social media, like you even film yourself. You even film yourself and you put it online. Like you have just absolutely lost touch with reality. If you think that anybody's going to like that, anybody in their sane state of mind is going to like that. You will just have other people, other dog keepers, who are just as out of their minds as you are, who will actually like that and who will see no problem with that. But the vast majority of people are just appalled, okay? They're just appalled. And I'm sorry to break it to you, darling. Okay, now enough about the hygiene. The next point is actually the dog shit. Now, I really don't know what the hell is wrong with you. And everybody of you, I know that everybody will just immediately say, yeah, but you know, I don't do that, I don't do that. And that is the topic of picking up your mutts crap. Like, what the bloody hell is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? Why are you just not able to pick up your mutts shit? And now I already see all the dog owners. Yeah, I know, that's totally terrible, but these are just a few exceptions. Well, we all know it's not a few exceptions. Like, why is our entire city just covered in dog shit if these are just a few exceptions? It's just statistically impossible. And I see people, dog keepers, not picking up their shit every bloody day. I see it every bloody day. So don't tell me that these are just exceptions. Yeah, now suddenly everybody is going to write, oh yeah, but I'm a dog keeper myself, but I find this absolutely terrible. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we don't care about that. Yeah. And I also find it pretty funny that like every time when somebody talks about this topic, you know, online, like on social media, then you have those cohorts of dog keepers immediately writing, and they have to signal that they are the exceptions, you know, that I always pick up my dog's shit. I also find it terrible that people not doing it. Like, we don't care if you pick up your dog's shit. Like, what exactly do you want? Do you want a biscuit now because you pick up your dog's shit? You don't have to virtue signal about that. That's not something that you have to expect praise for. It's absolutely normal that you do that. You don't have to emphasize that you do it. We don't give a shit. It's like I'm not going on social media and write a comment somewhere, you know, all proud of myself. I do not defecate in the streets. Guys, listen to me. I do not defecate in the streets. And then I expect everybody to pat me on the head. Like, how sick in your mind do you have to be to expect props for that? It's just common decency. There's no props for that. You're not going to get a medal. God damn it, honestly. Now, next topic is why do you all just completely ignore the fact that dogs spread myriads of diseases? They just spread myriads of absolutely appalling diseases to humans, and you let them lick your faces and even your mouths, and you just have absolutely no idea what germs your dogs are actually carrying, do you? Like I myself, I'm absolutely not a fanatic about hygiene. But I mean, the things that you are doing are so disgusting. They're just so bloody disgusting that I just can't find any words for it. It really gives me a gag reflex every time I see one of you letting his mutt lick his face. It's so disgusting. And you will get sick. At some point you will actually get sick, I can tell you. Like, you can ask any doctor about that, or any microbiologist. It's inevitable, you will get sick. But hey, put it online on social media. It'll get you loads of clicks. Unbelievable. Now the next point is Why don't you just acknowledge the fact that dogs are absolutely dumb animals? Why don't you just acknowledge the fact? Like you keep going on about, how fantastic your dog is and how this dog understands you and they're so smart and they love you and everything. No, they're not. I'm sorry to break it to you, but no, they're not. Like you basically don't have any other animal that in nature, I mean not in nature, but not even a pet that is as stupid as dogs. They eat their own feces. They they're just so absolutely dumb. They damage their own ears with their barking. Dogs are absolutely stupid and they don't love you. If you think they love you, then you're just deluding yourself. You're just deluding yourself. Dogs don't love you. They just love you because you're the food source. And they're not loyal. Like if dogs are loyal, then why do you have to keep them enclosed, in your yards and in your apartments? As soon as you leave the gate open, like it takes half a minute and that dog is gone. So don't tell me they are so loyal. And they're stupid. They're absolutely stupid. Like there's no other animal that gets run over by cars and motorcycles and everything as much as dogs. They just run right into it. They run right into trains, cars, trucks, everything. I mean, they're just so stupid. So that's the, the the other point. And now that I think that's actually the last point I would like to go into is this absolutely cringe anthropomorphization that you do with your dogs. Like you have really gone too far with that. Like why do you not understand that dogs are not people? Dogs are not like small people that are not able to speak. And dogs do not understand when you talk to them. You can talk to them as much as you want. They don't use language because they're dumb. Yeah, they don't use language. Like it's so cringe when you speak to them in your language, just like you would speak with a child. And like I see all these people like giving entire lectures to their stupid mutt. And like, do you seriously think that these animals understand what you're saying? They don't understand shit of what you're saying. You can talk to them as much as you want. It just makes you look like a mentally absolutely deranged person. You could talk to a glass of water and expect it to understand what you're saying. You look like a mental case. Stop it, guys. Stop it and get help. Honestly. And all this, like dressing up your dogs and all this nonsense that you're doing, it's rubbish. It's rubbish and it's cringe. Stop it. Dogs do not need sweaters. They don't need little jackets. They don't need socks and they don't need any of this shit. It's just a way to get your money. Like, why are you too dense to actually understand that? I mean, really, you're just embarrassing yourself. You're just embarrassing yourself. And actually, even, all those sweaters and all this nonsense that you're buying, you're actually endangering your dog with that. There's loads of dogs that die of heat stroke because their owners think that they have to put some kind of a suit onto their mutts. You don't. Stop this nonsense. You're sick. You're absolutely sick. So yeah, this is the reason why I actually hate dogs. And I live in a country where dogs are just being shoved into everybody's faces all the time. And you can't go anywhere here without hearing that goddamn obnoxious barking. Like what the hell is wrong with you? Are you not able to train your dogs? So yeah, don't be surprised that more and more people are actually pissed off about that, and that you just find more and more channels and people speaking out about Your insanity. You have just become insane. And you think the entire public sphere is yours. Well, no, it's not. And keep your mutts away from people. And we haven't even gone into the topic of how dangerous dogs actually are. I mean, that would be an entire topic by itself. But, there are dozens of videos on all the dog awareness channels that actually deal with the dangerousness of dogs. So I'm not going to go into that here now. But yeah, you just ignore all those numbers as well, which again just paints you as a mentally deranged person. So sorry to break it to you. Okay, so these are like in very, very short form the reasons why I actually hate dogs. And I also hate your dog. Yeah, I do. I don't want to get acquainted with it. I don't want to play with it. Keep it away from me. And I'm not a minority. I'm sorry to tell you. Okay, thanks for listening and goodbye. Take care.